What's going on, everybody? It's your boys over know this off DFS. This is take two because I just literally recorded the whole video, about 25 to 30 minutes long, and my mic did not pick up the audio towards the end, so I got to redo the whole thing. But unfortunately, I'm gonna give you guys a Cliff Note version because it's too late in the day, and I cannot sit here for another 25 to 30 minutes to record everything. Real quick, going over the injury reports for today. We already got some injury news while I was recording the first time. So looking at it, Brooklyn, really no news report for them. Detroit, all these guys, they're expected to play. Orlando, if Suggs is going to be out, definitely something we want to pay attention to. Haven't seen anything about Suggs just yet, but we know that Fultz and all these other guys are going to be out. Washington, Kyle Kuzma participated in shoot around and is not on the injury report, so he will be playing today. Memphis Grizzlies, haven't seen anything in regards to Marcus Smart. Over here for the Pelicans, nothing to report for them. Trey Young, he was present at shoot around, so Trey should be in and playing. Nothing to worry about right there. For the Bulls, haven't seen anything on Vuce just yet, but definitely pay attention to that. For Indy, Bruce Brown, he's already been ruled out. Houston, nothing to report for them. Tari Eason, he is expected to be back today. For Utah Jazz, nobody on the injury report. Everybody got cleared off of that while I was recording. For San Antonio Spurs, Wemby was at shoot around, and Zach Collins, he is expected to play. For the Memphis Grizzlies, no word on not Memphis Grizzlies, sorry. For the Timberwolves, no news on Karl-Anthony Towns just yet. And then for OKC, Jalen Williams is expected to play. Josh Giddey, he is game time decision, so we'll find out about that later on. For the Kings, nothing to report on them just yet. Alex Len, Malik Monk, two bench players, nothing set in stone for them. And then Portland, still no update in regards to them. For Charlotte Hornets, Brandon Miller, game time decision, no update on that just yet. And then for the Clippers, still waiting for that Kawhi Leonard news, whether or not if he's going to be in or out. Definitely something to keep note and pay attention to. All right, going over the DraftKings side to play the most on the site that we haven't gotten the takedown on just yet. Still waiting to go ahead and get that for the season. Of course, it is a long season, and we will eventually be able to get there. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content putting out over here on the channel. Drop a like on the video if you guys enjoying this content and it helps you guys win some money. Now, like I said, I do apologize. I am going to do the Cliff Note version of this all simply just because, like I said, I already recorded through the whole thing, and my mic did not pick up the end part of the production. So I'm gonna have to go through and just really just hit some key things over here for Orlando and Washington. Looking at it with everyone being back, if Suggs is to miss, then of course we're gonna have some more interest in Cole Anthony. He's gonna get a boost in his minutes, but if not, then all these other guys, everyone's gonna be in play. Still don't mind Suggs at all, especially if he's not gonna be a minute limit. Really great fantasy point per minute producer whenever he is actually out there and not playing injured. And the matchup going against Washington is a really great one. Outside of that, Kuzma, him being back, this should actually keep the game pretty close if he's actually going to play and not be limited. Paulo, Franz, both of them are in a really great spot. Don't mind either one of these guys. Of course, I will take Franz just because he has been producing and he's stuffing the stat sheet. Paulo, he should be able to get whatever he wants out here. Definitely a worth a pay up. And then if you want to, we do know that for Orlando, they did just get Wendell Carter Jr. He should be splitting time with France and everyone else in Goga, but I do have some interest in Wagner as a GPP option and play right there on that side. Brooklyn taking on Detroit. They just played recently before the Christmas break. No one really sticks out to me as must plays over here. I don't mind looking at a Claxton as a possible GPP play over here. 30 minutes, dropped 29.75 fantasy points. Detroit piss poor defense and everything for them. They should be getting Dern back and a couple other players, so that might help solidify and possibly could make this even a closer game, and then possibly could get the win. Don't mind Cade. He looks like he's definitely hungry for that win. He's been trying. He's really just trying to put the team on his back and get there. If Hayes is to miss, I will have more interest in Jaden Ivey. Really great spot for him going back and forth with the Brooklyn Nets. And then outside of that, if you want to take a stab at a Cam Johnson or a Mikal Bridges, either one of those guys, they're decent. They have finally bounced back recently anyway. Over here for the Utah Jazz taking on the San Antonio Spurs, I'll be honest, everyone for Utah is priced up. Like Larry Larkin and Clarkson are still out, especially like Sexton, THT, Keontae George. All these guys are back. So really not too heavy, too much interest over here for them. If I do take anything, it would be Larry Larkin at an 8-6 just because I know he's going to gander all that usage that he's going to get whenever he's out there. 39 minutes in the last game against Toronto, 56.25 fantasy points. He's going to stuff the stat sheet, so I do not mind him going up against the Spurs in what could possibly be a close-ish game, especially playing on the road, things like that. So definitely don't mind looking at Laurie as the main guy I would take for him, the Utah Jazz. Over here on the San Antonio Spurs, Wemby, he's going to be on a minutes limit. If he plays, he's going to be playing those low 20 minutes, which is what they kept him to last game, even before he rolled his ankle. 22 minutes against the Bulls, only 29.75 fantasy points. He's a great fantasy point per minute producer, but I'll say that being on a minutes limit at 9K, I'm not going to pay that for him at all whatsoever. I would take a chance on maybe a Shochan who looked much better playing more of the power forward position since they moved him from playing point guard. So I don't mind looking at Shochan down there at the 6K. Would be a decent pivot or spot. Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, both GPP options that you can go to. Not must plays for me. I really would just much rather play Shochan if I do play anything from there. Minnesota taking on OKC. If Cat's going to be out, a lot of interest in Rudy Gobert, the usage, the putbacks, the offensive rebounds, the defensive rebounds, blocks and steals, all that will go up for Rudy. Drop 48.75 fantasy points without Big Cat out there going up against the Kings in 39 minutes. Should be kind of close to the same again going up against the Thunder, who really Chet, great rookie, has his own rights, but he's not going to be able to deal with Rudy out there, and we've seen that in the first matchup that they played. If Cat's going to be back, I still do have interest in Rudy, but just it'll go down just a little bit. Still a really great matchup and spot for him. Nas Reed, Kyle Anderson, and everyone else off the bench, Kyle Anderson and specifically Nas Reed, both of them have interest in them, especially if Cat is going to be out. Their usage, everything is going to go up for them off the bench, so I don't mind them. Jaden McDaniels, he's going to draw that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander defensive matchup, and he's done pretty well going up against him in the past. If Cat's going to be out, maybe some more shots for Jaden. We can see that, which we saw the Troy Brown Jr. game going up against the Thunder early in the season, where he was able to go out there and popped off and looked very well. My Thunder made him look like he was the second coming of Klay Thompson out there, the way he was out there playing. So I definitely don't mind that for Jaden McDaniels if Cat was to miss. And then Anthony Edwards, of course, you can go to him. Don't mind, don't hate it, but I'm not too interested in Ant at 96. That's just my solid opinion. Over here for the Thunder, SJ, like I said, he's going to be a GPP option. Definitely going to be a tougher defensive matchup for him going up against them, but we know he pretty much has a safe-ish floor, about 45 fantasy points. He's going to get there either way, no matter what it kind of takes. If Giddey is to miss, then Kassan is going to get slid into that starting lineup. I don't mind him at 4,200. Last start, played 24 minutes, gave us 17.25 fantasy points. At 42, if he can edge his way to 20, I will accept that. We'll definitely take that for him. Don't mind it. And then if J-Dub magically was to miss, then I'll have some more interest in Kerrance Williams and Andrew Wiggins as both plays that you could possibly go ahead and take. Outside of that, not too interested here. I will take a GPP flyer on Chet as he's been playing really well over his last several games. The matchup is not a bad one for opposing centers going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. I know when you look at it on paper, but when you look at the last couple of centers that have rolled through going up against them, they've all actually had really pretty decent games. So definitely Chet, bounce back spot for him going up against them as the first time when he played against them did not play too hot at all whatsoever. The Bulls taking on the Atlanta Hawks. I really do like this game, possible game stack along with the Indiana and Houston game. Trae Young, like I said, not on the injury report. Well, was that shoot around, so he should be playing tonight. If he magically was to decide to miss, I do have a lot of interest in DeJounte Murray because, of course, we know all the usage is going to go to DeJounte. But Trae, he finds his way to get there no matter what towards the end of these games, and he's been playing very well. Definitely don't mind him at the 10K pivot to come down off of the SGA or maybe the De'Aaron Foxes and stuff of the world. So I don't mind coming down here to Trae, but I really do have a lot of interest in Clint Capella, who's been playing pretty good over his last several games. One down game going up against Miami, but tougher matchup. But other than that, man, Clint's been on a roll, has been balling, offensive putbacks, blocks, and just scoring. I really do like this game for Clint. And then if you want to pivot to much cheaper Okonwu, you definitely can, but really do like the upside for Clint here. Sadiq Bey should definitely see his minutes pretty solidified with DeAndre Hunter being out. Same thing if Jalen Johnson is back, he should get a pretty decent role in regards to his minutes. Not going to expect the big minutes like what he was playing early in the season before he got injured with his wrist. So definitely something to pay attention to, but he is a really good and decent fantasy point per minute producer when he is out there on the floor. So something to pay attention to right there if you're looking over there at the Atlanta Hawks. Over here for the Chicago Bulls, DeMar DeRozan, Vucevic, Kobe White, all three of these guys are prime position players. Really do like all of them. If Vuce was to miss, then of course Andre Drummond will be catapulted into I'm not gonna lie, must play territory for me. I will lock in Andre, 4,700, good fantasy point per minute producer. 19 minutes, dropped 37 fantasy points against the Spurs. Like, come on, a really great fantasy point per minute producer whenever he's out there. I'm not scared of the matchup going against Vooch. And Drummond, to me, he can still start on some teams, but that's only if Vooch was to miss and be out. If Vooch is in, I do still like DeRozan or Vucevic. Either one of these guys are pretty decent plays. And then Kobe White on the other side, dude's been playing bonkers since Zach LaVine's been down and out. So again, don't mind Kobe out here as well. He's been rebounding, assisting, and also scoring at a pretty high clip. So should be a back and forth type game anyway, going up against the Atlanta Hawks. So I like I said, all three of these guys. And then if you're looking for a GPP pivot, someone that kind of goes under the radar, intends to, I don't mind coming out here to Alex Caruso, playing some pretty decent minutes over his last several games, and should see a decent role out there and been producing decently in that role. Memphis taking on the Pelicans. In all honesty, this was Josh's first game back. He played going up against them. Went out there, statement game, won it at the buzzer last minute. So the Pelicans coming in here with some vengeance. Should definitely be a pretty good game. Don't mind coming down, paying down to Ja. especially just the triple double upside that he brings, that he has. Definitely a pivot off of the SGAs, who can actually give me a pretty decent and safe floor, is what he's actually showing that he's 12. He's still there. He's got it. So definitely don't mind paying for Ja. 50 fantasy points in 2 out of the 3 games that he's played so far. So really don't mind that. And then over here on the Pelicans, I do like CJ and I do like Jonas Valanciunas as both plays we can go ahead and take over here. These benches for both these guys, not really too interested in either one of them in regards to what they could bring. You can maybe go with where is he at? Where are you at? Maybe you can go with a Trey Murphy if you want to take something from for a bench player who plays decent minutes off the bench for the Pelicans. But other than that, I'm not too interested in the benches for either one of these teams. It'll mainly be the starters: Ja, Triple J, CJ McCollum, Jonas Valanciunas are the main guys that stick out to me over here for that team. Now, Indy taking on Houston, like I said, really this has game stack written all over it. Should be a fast-paced game, especially with how fast Indy plays, and it's young guys over there for the Houston Rockets, so they should be able to run and gun with them. Halliburton, he finally had one of his in-season tournament type games, 61 fantasy points in that last game going up against Orlando, which we would consider a tougher matchup. I really do like Hallie. Don't mind him. Not a must play, but I will say that Jabari Smith Jr., I was really high on him before the Tari Easton news. So it kind of sucks with Tari being back. I think his minutes go back down to those low 30 minutes, but without Tari being out there, he was playing 42, 31, 37 fantasy points. And then this was the only game he played those low minutes, and that was because it was a blowout. They were blowing them out. But with Tari being back, his minutes probably go back down to that probably about like this 31-minute range. Still a decent matchup for him. I don't hate it, don't mind it, but not a must play anymore. Miles Turner, I do like the upside for him here. If you could stomach Miles Turner and hope that he comes out gunslinging and plays his actual game, I don't mind going to a Miles Turner here on today's slate. I just worry about what type of Miles Turner I'm actually going to get, but definitely a play. Of course, like I already said, one of the value plays on today's slate is going to be Nemhard. He should get the start with Bruce Brown being out. We've seen it last game, 36 minutes, dropped 25.75 fantasy points. Pretty much kind of going to go ahead and start the day with him as a value play and just build around in regards to going there. So that's already one value play you can go with on today's slate. Over here for the Kings taking on Portland. Definitely want to pay attention to news if Sharp and DeAndre Ayton are going to be in and out. If they're not, we know it's going to be a makeshift lineup out there for Portland. Sabonis and Fox, both these guys, really great spot, really great game for either one of them. Fox, I do have more interest in him than Sabonis. I do feel like this could be a pop-off spot for a 50-plus fantasy point game, especially going up against Portland, who we know they can play back and forth. They can give it up to opposing point guards and things like that. And I just kind of feel like I haven't seen that big 50-plus point fantasy point type game from Fox in quite some time. So really do like Fox here in this position. Sabonis, him as well. You can definitely go there if you want to get different at the center position by paying up. I definitely feel like this is going to be a mid-tier type slate for the center position. You know, the Vucevic, the Claxton, the Clint Capellas, Miles Turner, those type things. So definitely by paying up to Sabonis, that is one way you can get different on the slate as well. Like I said, I really do feel like the highest player on today's slate is Shea at 10-5. So it's going to be more of a mid-tier type build on today's slate. One way you can get different is if you can find the stars and scrub to actually build around on today's slate. Outside of that, if Shane Sharp is going to miss, maybe we could see a solidified minutes for Michael Brogdon, who we just seen 37 minutes, 51.5 fantasy points. So if Sharp is going to be out, I will have more interest in Brogdon. Outside of that, he really just hasn't been producing all too hot, too heavy. With everyone being back, looks like they're really giving more of the run to the young guys. And then, of course, I'm going to have to say Anthony Simons, definitely. If a shot's falling, he can go out here and have really pretty much a big game. So definitely don't mind Simon at all as another possible play we can go to. Now, the Clippers taking on the Charlotte Hornets. If Kawhi Leonard's going to be out, I'm going to want one of Harden or Paul George as a pretty much a must play in my eyes, just because the matchup is really juicy. Should be a back and forth type game. And the Clippers are looking to get back into that win column. If Leonard's going to be out, we should possibly see Coffee slide back into the starting lineup, which he would be another value play you can go to, sitting at 3-9, but we're not going to get that news till late. So I would definitely have a plan for these two late games if you're going to try to build in regards to if Kawhi Leonard's going to be in or out. Maybe something you could do, lock Kawhi Leonard in at this 4 position, and then you can pivot to Paul George if Kawhi Leonard gets ruled out, which is going to give you a lock spot for the late game if that's something that you actually want to do. I really do see that as a possible option. But yeah, definitely something I would consider whenever looking at the side. On the other side, going up for the Charlotte Hornets, which one of my Christmas presents. Your boy's going to a Charlotte Hornet game. Can't wait for that. Terry Rozier, Miles Bridges, Gordon Hayward, all main guys I would look to as possible plays. Don't hate any of those guys. And then another value center play that you can go to if you don't want to mess with the Paul George or Kawhi Leonard type play. I definitely don't mind going to Zubac, sitting here at that 6'4" price tag. A pretty good anchor for the late slate. matchup is going to be there for him. I could definitely see a 50+ fantasy points type game for him, especially just like what he did going up against Andy. The rebounds should be there for him. The scoring should be there for him. And I do like the upside that he should be able to bring here in a soft matchup against Charlotte Hornets. We have attacked with opposing centers. All right, guys, that's going to be it. I do apologize. Like I said, I did have a much longer video, but I had to give you guys the Cliff Notes version on this one, simply just because I recorded all that and I could not go back through like a little detailed breakdown game by game. So hopefully you guys did enjoy that. Drop a like on the video if you guys did. Look for more content. Check the link down in the description below for the Dub Club. All my stuff will be posted up there. Hopefully you guys have a good day. Peace.